Hello YouTube, it's Tony. So today I will be showing you the fastest way to gather the Animica ores. As confirmed by JMod on Reddit, this is how it's pronounced. Now you can use this guide for either money making or if you're an Ironman trying to gather ores for smithing. Here are the requirements. Now obviously you have to complete the quest in order to access this area. While it only requires 90 mining, I do recommend 97 because this way you will get the maximum critical hit chance. I would also recommend you complete the Rework Elite task. The last requirement is that you have to wait for the Trahaearn Voice of Seren. There is a slight difference to the Voice of Seren. Basically there's a chance that a world can spawn either a light or a dark Animica ore. There is also a 20% chance of mining 2 ores at once. So yes, it's kinda OP here. This is my equipment setup. I have an Earth and Song pickaxe augmented, in which case I have the Hone 5 perk on it. I mean, if you don't have that, that's fine because you can just use Elder Rune pickaxe plus 5. It's not augmentable, but it's not a bad alternative. Now you can also bring mining cape here. There's a 5% chance of mining 2 ores at once. Obviously not everyone has 99 mining, so if you don't have that, that's fine. Grace of the Elves is also helpful here because you can charge this with Sign of the Porters. This is optional, but I mean, it is pretty convenient here. The Legendary Quarry Master aura is optional as well, but you do get an extra chance of a critical swing. Here is my inventory setup. I'll start with overloads. Having an increased strength level will increase the mining damage. However, if you do not have overloads, or if for whatever reason you don't want to consume your overloads here, then we do have the Dragon Battle Axe. Unfortunately, you have to be on Legacy mode in order to utilize the special attack. Now the reason why I don't use Dragon Battle Axe is because on Legacy mode, you don't get access to an action bar. The decorated mining urns and the urn enhancer, well, they're pretty optional, but they will give you more XP. You can also bring Elder Runite box as well. That is, if you're not using porters. Perfect Juju mining potion or the Perfect Plus potion will give you 10% more ores. Don't forget to bring stone spirits here. Just use them if you have them, but if you don't own them, that is completely fine. Finally, we have the Crystal Scochapas. They do more damage on a critical swing. However, nowadays it's only consumed on a critical swing. So if you're an Ironman that has a lot of these in your bank, then this is pretty much the best way to use them. Let's talk about the strategy. You can either hop worlds, or otherwise you can wait until an FC calls the location. The FC for this is called Harm Door, or otherwise if it's full, then you can use Harm Door 1. Preferably when you're hopping worlds or when you're following the FC, you want to aim for a dark Animica ore. So the reason why I suggest 2 spawns nearby is because by mining the Rockertunities, it's actually a lot easier. So Tony, what does Rockertunities mean? You know how every 30 seconds when you're mining a rock, and then the opposite rock shows a nearby beam, right? Well, when you click the beam, you'll get 7 times more damage. Yeah, if you keep chasing these Rockertunities, it is definitely going to speed up the process. Speaking of speeding up process, well, there is another way to speed this up, and that is called Fortic Mining. Every time a stamina depletes, even by a little bit, you just want to click the same rock again. That's really all you need to do, although it can be a little bit click intensive and quite a bit hard to learn at first. Either way, if you do see green sparkles nearby, then yes, you are doing this correctly. Just watch out for laggy worlds or worlds where you have really terrible ping here. So this method is fairly click intensive, but you can AFK nowadays because, well, the rocks do not deplete anymore. I would not recommend this since the gathering rates are just much slower. Ideally, if you're using an ore box, you should fill it on your action bar. By doing this, it will not interrupt the actions. If you're banking using an ore box, you can just right click and then empty it to a bank chest nearby. Now for those who are using a Dragon Battle Axe, as I said before, you have to be on Legacy mode. This kinda sucks a little bit here because you will not get access to an action bar on Legacy mode. Unlike the old Voice of Seren, the Animica ores do not actually deplete. Anyways, moving on. In 1 hour, I was able to mine 361 ores. I sold them for around 10k each. This in turn would get me around 3.6 mil GP per hour gross income. This is on par with the old harmonized Runite ore, except the only difference is that it's not really AFK. Now as for the mining XP, I got 225k. I also got around 30 geodes as well. I also consume almost 400 skill champas. See, I told you, you don't consume that many here. Now I do have a raw footage of this, and I will definitely leave the link in the description. That being said, it is definitely the fastest way to gather ores on an Ironman account. Even if you're trying to gather the low level ores within the Voice of Seren district, it is still faster than the other mining locations. I'm gonna assume that these Ironmen are probably gonna gather these for the Masterwork armor. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it helps. If I missed anything, feel free to ask. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already because I will be doing more content on the mining and smithing rework.